For decades, Gilligan's Island has remained a beloved classic, an escape into a world of humor, adventure, and quirky charm. But many of the actors who turned the group of castaways into household names have sadly passed away. In this emotional tribute, we celebrate their timeless performances, revisit the moments that made them unforgettable, and honor the joy they brought to countless viewers. Their talent transformed a simple sitcom premise into one of television's most enduring series. Join us as we reflect on their lives, their careers, and the legacies they left behind in the hearts of fans around the world. Bob Denver, born January 9, 1935 in New Rochelle, New York, stepped into the role of Gilligan in 1964 at age 29, embodying the hapless, well-meaning first mate whose bumbling antics kept 7 strangers stranded on a desert island. Yet his off-screen life was a striking contrast to the naive innocence he portrayed. Gilligan's perpetual clumsiness and loyalty masked a real-world persona far more complicated. Denver struggled with health problems, legal entanglements, and a turbulent personal life. He grew up in a working-class family that often struggled to make ends meet, enduring teasing and insecurity that he masked behind humor, later shaping the self-deprecating charm that made him beloved on screen. His career, though, buoyed by the runaway success of Gilligan's Island, was punctuated by frustration with typecasting, missed opportunities, and bitter disputes over syndication royalties, culminating in the shocking 1998 arrest for receiving marijuana through the mail, a scandal that jarred fans who equated him with wholesome slapstick. Denver's personal life was equally complicated. Multiple marriages ended in divorce with periods of estrangement from children, and he reportedly struggled with depression and the pressure of fame. He faced ongoing health battles, including quadruple heart bypass surgery and cancer treatment, which underscored the fragility behind his affable persona. Denver passed away on September 2, 2005, at age 70, from complications related to cancer treatment, following heart surgery, leaving an estate valued at $21 million, largely thanks to decades of syndication, royalties, appearances, and merchandising. His legacy is a paradox, a man who made the world laugh with a simple grin and a clumsy gesture, while privately navigating legal trouble, medical crises, and the isolating pressures of celebrity, a real-life story as twisted and unpredictable as any of Gilligan's misadventures. Alan Hale Jr., born March 8, 1921 in Los Angeles, California, became Jonas the Skipper Grumby in 1964 at age 43, projecting authority, warmth, and comedic exasperation that anchored the ensemble of castaways. Yet the man behind the captain's hat led a life full of entrepreneurial risks, personal trials, and hidden eccentricities. Hale's childhood was overshadowed by the pressures of being the son of a famous actor, facing constant comparisons and a relentless push toward performance that often left him anxious and self-critical, teaching him early to mask doubt, with bluster, a trait perfectly mirrored in his skipper persona. Professionally, while Gilligan's Island brought enduring fame, Hale was persistently typecast, struggling to secure roles beyond the gruff, yet lovable captain. He also cultivated ventures that blurred reality and performance, notably opening Alan Hale's Lobster Barrel restaurants, greeting patrons in full skipper costume, and playing into the persona that audiences adored, a move some insiders criticized as desperate and egotistical. Hale's personal life was marked by quiet but persistent struggles. He coped with the death of close friends, health complications, and the isolation of fame, as well as minor public disputes over royalties and licensing. Despite these tensions, he remained outwardly genial, but colleagues noted moments of impatience, perfectionism, and a sometimes domineering insistence on loyalty from staff and family. Hale died on January 2, 1990, at age 68, from complications of thyroid cancer, leaving an estate estimated at $6 million, a sum modest for a star whose cultural footprint far exceeded his financial legacy. His image endures as a complex mix of joviality, ambition, and dedication, a man whose public charm veiled a persistent struggle with expectations, typecasting, and the pressure of fame. Jim Backus, born February 25, 1913 in Cleveland, Ohio, portrayed Thurston Howell III in 1964 at age 51, bringing to life the pompous, ostentatious millionaire whose oblivious indulgence and satirical vanity offered endless comic fodder on a desert island, while his private existence mirrored the excesses, indulgences, and hidden vices of his aristocratic alter ego. Bacchus grew up in a family grappling with economic instability during the Depression, cultivating charm and wit as survival mechanisms while hiding insecurities that would later animate his larger-than-life characters. Professionally, Bacchus enjoyed immense success, yet he was notorious for his heavy drinking, wild parties, and occasionally risque humor, which sometimes caused tension on set and among his colleagues, compounded by persistent rumors of extramarital affairs, despite a long-standing marriage to Henny Bacchus. His career's major misstep came during attempts to break away from typecasting, where high-profile film projects flopped or were abandoned, threatening his reputation and creating professional strain. Bacchus also struggled with health issues, including complications from alcohol and respiratory illness, which he concealed to maintain the veneer of vitality demanded by Hollywood. He passed away on July 3, 1989, at age 76 from pneumonia complications, leaving an estate valued at $5 million, a fraction of the fictitious billions of Thurston Howell III, yet reflective of a career that thrived on audacity, charm, and a willingness to embrace the absurd. Bacchus remains remembered as a symbol of old-school Hollywood bravado, a man who lived a life as flamboyant, scandal-tinged, and complex as the wealthy scoundrel he portrayed, proving that behind the elegant smiles were tales of indulgence, excess, and relentless pursuit of performance. Natalie Schafer, born November 5, 1900 in Red Bank, New Jersey, took on the role of Mrs. Lovey Howell in Gilligan's Island 1964 at age 64, portraying the pampered aristocratic socialite whose oblivious vanity and comic timing provided endless amusement, while occasionally revealing flashes of compassion toward her fellow castaways. Lovey's elegance and superficiality made her a fan favorite, yet behind the pearls and perfectly coiffed hair, Schafer's life was far more complicated and secretive. Born into a modest middle-class family, she endured a childhood marked by emotional neglect and early pressures to conform to social expectations, fostering a deep-seated determination to craft an image of sophistication that masked insecurity. Her Hollywood career, beginning in the 1920s and flourishing through the Golden Age, was punctuated by repeated frustrations, being typecast as the society matron, facing ageism and rejection from major studios, and navigating tense relationships with directors and co-stars who sometimes found her demanding and aloof. Schafer's personal life was equally guarded. She concealed her true age even from her husband, battled breast cancer privately, and remained intensely private about relationships, hinting at a loneliness beneath her cultivated persona. Known for a perfectionist streak, she sometimes manipulated on-set situations to maintain control over her image and surroundings, sparking quiet tensions with younger cast members. Despite these challenges, she invested shrewdly, amassing an estate valued at $10 million, including real estate and residuals from her prolific career, portions of which she generously donated to charity. Schafer passed away on April 10, 1991 at age 90 from liver cancer, leaving behind a legacy of elegance intertwined with secrecy, illustrating the stark contrast between the glamorous figure she projected to audiences and the fiercely private, resilient woman who navigated decades of Hollywood scrutiny and personal adversity. Russell Johnson, born November 10, 1924 in Ashley, Pennsylvania, assumed the role of Professor Roy Hinckley in Gilligan's Island, 1964 at age 40, portraying the calm, resourceful intellect whose scientific ingenuity was consistently thwarted by circumstance, making him both the problem solver and the perpetual foil to the island's chaos. Johnson's portrayal provided audiences with a rational, steady anchor amidst slapstick mishaps, yet his off-screen life bore the scars of trauma, risk, and profound personal loss. A decorated Wubby bombardier, he survived a near-fatal plane crash, earning a Purple Heart experiences that left both physical and psychological marks and contributed to periods of depression and private anxieties that few observed beneath his genial exterior. Hollywood presented its own challenges. Johnson faced typecasting frustrations, contract disputes, and professional slights that limited his career to supporting roles despite his talent, and he was known to clash quietly but persistently with directors and fellow actors when creative disagreements arose. His personal life was touched by tragedy and private pain. His son died of AIDS, a loss that fueled both grief and activism, while his relationships were marked by intensity and occasional estrangement. Johnson was meticulous, principled, and occasionally stubborn traits that earned respect, but also a reputation for being hard to work with when compromise was required. Financially modest, his estate was valued at approximately $1 million at his death on January 16, 2014 from kidney failure at age 89, reflecting a life that prized integrity, contribution, and perseverance over accumulation. Johnson's enduring legacy is that of a man whose measured, intelligent presence on screen contrasted with the emotional and practical struggles of his real life, a survivor of war, Hollywood, and personal grief, whose brilliance and humanity left a subtle but lasting imprint on audiences and colleagues alike. Dawn Wells, born October 18, 1938 in Reno, Nevada, brought Mary Ann Summers to life in Gilligan's Island, 1964, at age 26, portraying the sweet, practical farm girl whose optimism, kindness, and grounded nature made her the emotional glue of the stranded group and an enduring cultural icon. Mary Ann's humility and problem-solving charm contrasted sharply with the glamour of Ginger and the eccentricities of the other castaways, capturing audiences' hearts and establishing Wells as a beloved figure. Off-screen, however, her life reflected the harsh realities behind the fame. Despite her popularity, she faced typecasting and limited opportunities, struggled with financial insecurity, and later required crowdfunding to cover medical and personal expenses, illustrating the precariousness of celebrity income. Her personal life contained quiet turmoil. Though she remained gracious publicly, Wells endured periods of loneliness, the deaths of close friends and colleagues, and private emotional challenges that few saw. Professionally, she contended with an industry that often undervalued talent over youth and beauty, and she occasionally encountered envy or friction from co-stars navigating the competitive Hollywood landscape. Known for generosity, humility, and resilience, she dedicated time to mentoring younger performers while quietly managing her own hardships. Wells passed away on December 30, 2020 at age 82 from COVID-19 complications, leaving a modest net worth of roughly $50,000, yet her enduring appeal and the warmth she brought to audiences far exceeded her financial legacy. Her life story underscores the gap between iconic fame and material security, highlighting a career marked by perseverance, dignity, and the understated strength that made Mary Ann Summers unforgettable to generations of viewers. Vito Scotti, born January 26, 1918 in San Francisco, appeared on Gilligan's Island in 1964 at age 46, playing the eccentric Dr. Boris Balankoff and a delusional Japanese sailor who humorously remained trapped in a World War II fantasy. Scotti's characters were unpredictable, chaotic, and often teetered on the edge of absurdity, leaving audiences both enthralled and unsettled by his mercurial energy. His childhood was marked by immigrant hardship in a strict Italian household, where financial instability and high parental expectations forced him to suppress his emotions and develop a wry, sometimes dark sense of humor as a shield. Scotti's career, prolific across stage, film, and television, with more than 200 credits, was not without turbulence. He faced criticism for his ethnic impersonations, which today would spark cultural backlash, and colleagues often whispered of his behind-the-scenes manipulations to secure roles. He reportedly struggled with alcohol, and friends noted he could be charming, yet mercurial traits that made professional collaboration difficult at times. A significant career setback was a disastrous Broadway production in the 1950s, which nearly stalled his trajectory and left him questioning his artistic choices. His personal life reflected similar volatility. Relationships were often short-lived, rumors swirled of affairs and hidden romances, and he remained intensely private about family and finances. Scotti's health declined in later years due to smoking and excessive drinking, culminating in his death from lung cancer on June 5, 1996, at age 78 in Los Angeles. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at approximately $5 million, including a stylish Los Angeles home, rare collectibles and investments in early television syndication, leaving a legacy that combined comic brilliance with the shadows of personal struggle and hidden controversies. Mel Blanc, born May 30, 1908 in San Francisco, lent his iconic voice to the parrot on Gilligan's Island in 1964 at age 56, delivering a brief yet unforgettable contribution that showcased his trademark vocal versatility. Known as the Man of a Thousand Voices, Blanc transformed minor appearances into memorable spectacles, and his parrot role became a quirky footnote in an unparalleled career. His childhood was fraught with illness, overprotective parenting, and a sense of social isolation, driving him into vocal mimicry and performance as both escape and self-expression. Blanc's career, while legendary, carried hidden trials. In 1961, he survived a near-fatal car accident that left him hospitalized and forced to continue recording from his hospital bed, demonstrating a relentless and sometimes obsessively demanding work ethic that occasionally alienated collaborators. His personal life, while outwardly conventional, included marital tensions, episodes of controlling behavior, and private struggles with stress and health, though he maintained a deep devotion to his family. Blanc battled COPD and heart disease later in life, leading to his death on July 10, 1989 at age 81 in Los Angeles. His estate, valued at approximately $25 million, included lucrative residuals from his animated characters, real estate holdings, and royalties from a career that revolutionized voice acting, cementing his influence across generations. Despite his wealth and fame, Blanc's story was also one of relentless personal drive, near tragedy, and the hidden burdens of sustaining a genius-level career in an unforgiving industry. Hans Conried, born April 15, 1917 in Baltimore, portrayed the delightfully absurd Wrong-Way Feldman on Gilligan's Island in 1964 at age 47, a character hopelessly lost in delusions of aerial heroism, whose eccentricity and nostalgia provided the show with its uniquely offbeat charm. Feldman's bizarre confidence and misplaced bravado mirrored aspects of Conried's own life, where intelligence and talent were tempered by insecurities and personal struggles. His early years were shaped by an intense intellectual household and intermittent financial instability, fostering social awkwardness and a reliance on theatricality to navigate the world. Conried's career spanned decades of stage television and voice work, including iconic roles as Captain Hook in Snidely Whiplash. Yet he frequently faced creative clashes with producers and typecasting that limited opportunities despite his versatility. Colleagues reported that his sharp wit, often bordered on caustic and private anecdotes, reveal episodes of drinking, temper flares, and manipulation to achieve professional ends. One of his most crushing career setbacks was a canceled television pilot in the 1950s that resulted in lost momentum, financial strain, and a lingering professional reputation as difficult. His personal life was equally complex, including unsteady romantic relationships and long stretches of bachelorhood, with rumors of scandalous affairs that remained largely private but circulated in Hollywood circles. Conried passed away from heart failure on January 5, 1982, at age 64 in Hollywood. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated at $1 million, including residuals from decades of voice work, a modest Beverly Hills residence, and theater memorabilia. His legacy is a striking combination of eccentric brilliance, enduring influence in animation and comedy, and the private struggles that haunted even the most celebrated voice actors of his era. Denny Miller, born April 25, 1934 in Bloomington, Indiana, appeared as Duke Williams in Gilligan's Island in 1965 at age 31, portraying the charismatic sun-kissed surfer whose physicality and charm provided a lively counterpoint to the castaway's struggles. Yet Miller's off-screen life told a story far more complex than his breezy on-screen persona suggested. Raised in a financially unstable household after the early death of his father, he endured teasing and exclusion during his formative years, learning to mask insecurity with bravado and athleticism traits that would both help and hinder him in Hollywood. Miller's career was a roller coaster after a promising early break As a Tarzan, he became typecast as the beefcake hero, unable to convince casting directors of his dramatic range, and suffered repeated disappointments when high-profile studio contracts evaporated under murky circumstances. Rumors swirled of brief, intense affairs with actresses and producers, along with whispered tensions on set when his ego clashed with directors or fellow actors. He was also occasionally criticized for using charm to influence casting decisions. His most devastating professional setback was losing a major Warner Brothers contract that could have launched him into sustained stardom, leaving him to navigate decades of guest roles, commercials, and bit parts while confronting the inner frustration of unfulfilled ambition. Personal life challenges mirrored these struggles. Fleeting romances, estranged friendships, and periods of alcohol use, all set against a man fiercely committed to his craft, yet perpetually fighting typecasting. In later years, ALS robbed him of the very physicality that had defined his screen presence, and he chronicled both triumphs and bitterness in candid memoirs. Miller died on September 9, 2014 at 80 in La Jolla, California, leaving an estate valued at $2 million, drawn from decades of persistent, if uneven work in television and film, a legacy of quiet resilience marked by both public charm and private turbulence. Chick Hearn, born November 27, 1916 in Aurora, Illinois, lent his iconic voice as the commentator in a 1967 episode of Gilligan's Island at age 51, infusing the show with his signature rapid-fire energy while simultaneously redefining basketball broadcasting as the legendary voice of the Los Angeles Lakers. Hearn's childhood was defined by a strict Midwestern upbringing, punctuated by social ridicule for his slight frame and relentless curiosity, which fueled a competitive streak and an obsession with precision that would both define and isolate him. Professionally, Hearn's career soared, but not without friction. He faced lawsuits and conflicts with league officials over blunt commentary, endured criticism from peers for being uncompromising, and navigated the politics of sponsorship deals and broadcast contracts that occasionally threatened to derail his career. His personal life, though outwardly stable, was laced with episodes of marital strain, bouts of loneliness, and intense pressure to maintain his public persona while battling the isolation of long nights on the road. Hearn's work ethic bordered on obsessive, and he was known to demand perfection from colleagues, creating tensions that, while rarely publicized, were whispered about in broadcasting circles. Health struggles in later life compounded these pressures, and he suffered a fall resulting in fatal head injuries on August 5, 2002 at 85 in Los Angeles. He left a net worth of approximately $5 million built from decades of voice work endorsements and the commercial value of his name, solidifying a legacy of professional brilliance tempered by personal rigor, an indelible figure whose influence reshaped the culture of sports broadcasting while hiding the private costs of relentless ambition. George N. Nicey, born February 16, 1917 in New Jersey, appeared as the interviewer in Gilligan's Island in 1966 at age 49, portraying a slick, media-savvy television personality whose satirical edge amplified the show's social commentary. Yet Nicey's own life bore secrets and complexities far beyond his on-screen charm. Growing up in a volatile household with financial hardship and frequent familial tension, he learned to mask his insecurities behind wit, charm, and a cultivated persona skills that would serve him well in over 120 credited roles. Professionally, Nicey endured the unpredictable ebb and flow of Hollywood, often typecast as charming rogues or villains navigating repeated disappointments when opportunities vanished due to studio politics, interpersonal clashes, or shifts in audience tastes. While not scandalous in the traditional sense, whispers of difficult on-set behavior, occasional clashes with directors, and subtle manipulations of co-stars to maintain career advantages added layers of intrigue to his professional reputation. Personal life challenges mirrored these complexities. Nicey experienced marital discord, periods of estrangement from children, and the quiet emotional toll of decades devoted to work over intimacy. In later years, health struggles and the decline of steady television work compounded the sense of instability that had followed him throughout life. Nicey died from natural causes on April 6, 1996 at 79 in Los Angeles, leaving a modest estate of roughly $500,000, a reflection of a diligent but understated career. His legacy endures as a versatile character actor whose screen charm belied the private battles and unfulfilled ambitions that shaped the man behind the camera. John Gabriel was born on May 25, 1931, and took on the role of the professor in the unaired 1964 pilot of Gilligan's Island at age 33, a fleeting opportunity that could have cemented him in television history, but instead became a haunting what-if of Hollywood lore. Gabriel's professor was intelligent, calm, and quietly authoritative, designed to anchor the island's misfit ensemble. Yet fate and ruthless network politics intervened. CBS recast the part, leaving him relegated to the shadows, while Russell Johnson rose to fame. Gabriel's childhood was far from idyllic. Raised in Niagara Falls amid financial hardship, he witnessed familial instability and bullying, often hiding his vulnerabilities beneath a precocious intellect and determined poise. His career was peppered with near misses and frustrations, rejected auditions, being typecast in soap operas, and a persistent reputation among casting directors as difficult to market despite undeniable talent. Rumors of behind-the-scenes manipulations circulated, suggesting Gabriel sometimes clashed with producers over creative control, and screen time fueling whispers of professional arrogance. Off-screen, his personal life reflected turbulence, unstable romantic relationships, periods of near isolation, and an obsessive focus on career over family created a life of quiet loneliness. He faced the usual Hollywood grind, compounded by the sting of being passed over for roles he was perfectly suited to, and a career highlight turned into a bitter memory when the pilot failed to launch him into stardom. Gabriel ultimately found steady work on Ryan's Hope, yet financial prudence never yielded large wealth. His estate at death totaled $1 million. He passed away on June 11, 2021 at age 90 from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of almost and an unfulfilled curiosity among fans who wonder what might have been had the network gambled differently, a life defined as much by missed opportunity as by quiet perseverance. Zsa Gabor was born on February 6, 1917, and at age 48, she dazzled as Erica Tiffany Smith in Gilligan's Island, a guest role that immortalized her as the island's most flamboyant and coquettish socialite. The character's vanity, flirtatiousness, and obsession with luxury mirrored Gabor's own life in almost caricature form, turning her cameo into a spectacle of glittering excess and comedic chaos. Her childhood in Budapest was turbulent, marked by the pressures of an aristocratic yet troubled family, experiences of ridicule and early lessons in charm as a survival tool in a world that often seemed hostile to women's independence. Career-wise, Gabor leveraged her beauty and audacity, yet faced constant scrutiny. Tabloid scandals, publicized divorces, and notorious feuds with Hollywood insiders created a stormy reputation that both helped and hindered her. She endured 9 marriages, numerous affairs, and the unforgettable 1989 incident when she was arrested for slapping a police officer, a moment emblematic of her brazen defiance and penchant for public spectacle. Her personal life was a carousel of glamour and conflict, with tumultuous relationships and family tensions shadowing her flamboyant persona. Despite decades of public fascination, she navigated health struggles and the loss of peers, demonstrating resilience amid relentless media attention. At her death on December 18, 2016, from heart failure at age 99, she left behind an estate estimated at $40 million, though legal disputes over her fortune became fodder for tabloid obsession, a posthumous echo of the drama she cultivated during life. Gabor remains a symbol of unapologetic extravagance, an enduring icon of charisma, scandal, and survival in the ruthless machinery of fame. Larry Storch was born on January 8, 1923, and played the fast-talking, scheming Jackson Farrell on Gilligan's Island at age 42, a character whose wit, charm, and comedic ineptitude provided chaos and levity to the island narrative. Storch's Farrell was sly, opportunistic, and endlessly entertaining, capturing the audience's delight even as the character repeatedly fell victim to his own cons, a reflection of Storch's natural comic timing and improvisational skill. Storch's upbringing in New York City was modest, his childhood punctuated by economic hardship, familial stress, and early exposure to streetwise survival tactics that honed his later humor. Professionally, Storch enjoyed a long career in television and film, notably in F Troop. Yet behind the laughter were financial struggles, periods of near bankruptcy, and episodes of personal frustration at typecasting and the limited recognition afforded to character actors. Off-screen, he was known for his eccentricities, occasional conflicts with producers, and a private life that oscillated between stability and turmoil, including personal losses and family tensions. His most significant professional disappointment came from projects that promised visibility but collapsed due to network politics or budgetary failures, testing his resilience and humor. Larry Storch remained a beloved performer, despite these challenges, consistently delivering joy to audiences while navigating the harsh realities of show business. He died on July 8, 2022 at age 99 from natural causes, leaving an estate valued at approximately $1 million, a modest sum, relative to his fame, yet reflective of a life dedicated to craft laughter and the enduring charm that made him a cherished figure in American comedy history. Thank you for watching as we reflected on the lives and legacies of the actors from Gilligan's Island who are no longer with us. Their humor, charm, and unforgettable performances brought joy to millions and helped shape the show into a classic. While their journeys ended far too soon, their impact lives on through every scene, every laugh, and every memory they've left behind. As we honor their lives, we're reminded of how deeply television can touch our hearts. Join us next time as we look back at more stars who left us too soon, but whose stories continue to shine.